Hey everybody, holiday fun time here. May as well fix the collar for the stream. Got Miss Stacy over there sleeping away, and gonna do some editing. Feel free to stop in, say hey. Top check goal. Whatever. Make $1. And let's bring this over here. There we go. I'll be able to see that. And boom. Oh, hey, what's up, Pinky? You're sitting outside in the sun since your body's cold. Must be nice. Florida. Boo. I am sitting inside cold. At least drafty. I've got the fire going, but man, it's like got down into the teens, I think, last night here. We do have the sun shining, as you can see out that window there, so hopefully it'll warm up a little bit. How's life going otherwise for you? Burr indeed. Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Old Dog and Cat Farm. Ready for another episode today. Going out on a cold morning for a walk. Korean cold noodles. I mean, you're just rubbing it in, Pinky. You want cold noodles for breakfast? I mean, I ate cream of wheat just so it would get something warm in me, but man, warm noodles would be good. Cold noodles. You're just here to torture people. I need to save this. Oh, I never moved this. Your feelings yesterday and today. I'm feeling so chatty. Okay. Well, that's fine. I get it. I get it. And I won't hold it against you. Move to videos. Do you have big plans for the holiday? Oh yeah, they I got them together a little bit. 289 dogs. And yeah, from what I learned, sorry, I was a little distracted there, just getting some stuff to move over. Um, Watching movies, that's always fun. Yeah, I've learned. I think like I never had a problem with, except for maybe Murray, just because he's dementia and he's so unpredictable, um, behavior wise. I don't think he dislikes Lexi. I just think that like he would overreact and freak out the situation. And but yeah, I think there's going to be some more play in between with those guys. Definitely with Bernie. Um, but yeah, I had no regrets from that. That was a fun little time, and I was surprised that Lexi was so cool. I mean, that's her domain where she likes to hang, and for her to be that cool with those dogs coming in really says a lot. You know, because you really can never really control how a cat's going to react to something. But other than that, you know, it's I hope to get them to play around a little bit. Usually it just ends up where they just ignore each other. Like let uh, but just in the past with the other dogs before they passed away, she just kind of ignore them and they would ignore her. It wasn't really like playtime. And I think that's about as best as one could hope. But yeah, we're going to be going to a Chinese restaurant at least on Christmas Day. One a hot pot restaurant where they have the oil boiling away in front of the table, and then you dip stuff in it and eat it. Kind of like Chinese fondue. Ugh. Other than that, we're probably just gonna eat too much and fall asleep. Ugh. Like I wanted to do right now. That's one thing about being cold is it makes me really, I don't know, cold sometimes makes me tired. Yeah, I've never had a proper hot pot, so I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. Oh, is this finally done? Okay. Yeah, I want to do a proper Szechuan hot pot, so I get all numb, my face gets all numb, and then um, you do it where you end up eating all the way down, and then you put rice in it, and then you make like a fried rice with everything. I want to do the whole thing. I want to eat the whole vat, and the place we're looking at is really gets really good reviews. It's really highly rated. Excuse me for yawning. Whew. You, you know, I've been to. I actually went to a Chinese buffet in Florida, down near in the Miami where Coral Gables area, and if I remember correctly, it was pretty amazing, and it was packed. But I feel like a lot of restaurants in Coral Gables are end up being getting packed. Okay, I'm gonna close this window for a second and reopen it. And then reshare. Yeah, it was a lot what you'd expect from Florida, just a lot of old people. Hey, Will Hudson, how's life? Ooh, boy, I'm yawny. Pretty good. I love the holidays. Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some good holiday times this year too. Keeping it very quiet up at the farm, just with the pups and Lexi and my lovely wife. We're gonna go get some Chinese food Christmas Day. She has to work Christmas Eve, so we're not gonna do too much other than just eat some food. Pinky is just rubbing in the fact that she lives in Florida. That's all that's going on right now, and she's just bragging about how warm the weather is. When she knows I'm up here freezing my butt off. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I've been actually picking up, getting a lot of subscribers to the channel, and it's getting to the point now where I can't even keep up with comments anymore. But I keep trying to. So if you don't see me giving you a quick comment back, you know why. I actually worked on a TV show earlier this week too. I think that's why I'm tired. I was standing out in the cold. They were doing a murder scene down at the river. So there was like a bunch of cops and fake, actors, cops and FBI agents and stuff like that. And all for this TV show that's getting worked on. I'm not allowed to even talk about it. Because I've signed a non-disclosure agreement, but I can say that I worked on it. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, TV. I was working props department in this one, and what's interesting too is that I found out that their special effects coordinator is leaving, and I'm trying to get in on that position. We'll see though. Fingers crossed. Um, if that's the case, I might have to slow down the channel a little bit, but whatever. Either way, whatever happens,
Ready
happens.
for another episode today. Going out on a cold morning for a walk.
Going on a cold morning for a walk.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, I did a second take. Get rid of that. Yeah, working on film and video isn't all it's cracked up to be. And it's funny too because there's so many TV shows now and stuff like that it's just they could be filming a TV show next door to your house and you wouldn't recognize 95% of the people that are doing it. It's just work.
Everybody, welcome to the happy old dog and cat farm. Today we're going on for a cold walk. We have Mama, who just had a bunch of dental work and isn't in the best mood. Murray's butt will be on camera. Oh, we got Bernie giving kisses.
Aw, Bernie.
Safira, who isn't feeling herself either. She just had a bunch of dental work. There, she just had a bunch of dental work. And Miss Stacy, who's doing quite well responding to her chemotherapy. Thanks for watching.
Save as. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Been napping a lot. Well, nice. But Bernie, our little guy, he is the greatest dog I've ever had to nap with. He will just snuggle right up and warm you up. Lifelong siestas. Pinky, if you run for president, I'm voting for you.
Ching.
I gotta get that stupid fan out of there. Bernie Murray never wants to take that final step. Let's see, do I end up pushing him? Yep. There we go. Lifelong siestas, eh? I mean, Pinky, there's nothing wrong with that. Lifelong siestas, no bills. Murray. I'm going to take that out. Too many people are going to think I'm abusing him. He is chill. He's just, whenever he comes upon a new situation, he's always a little extra cautious, and that's just his dementia. Some days he goes right out, and other days he's just like, wait a minute. I know, and me and Murray get along really, really well. He's such a sweetheart, and he's just, he's scared. He has that instinct because he's pretty much got the memory of a goldfish at this point, and every situation's like a brand new thing. What meme? The only thing is if I left that in, there'd be at least 2 or 3 people that would be like, why do you abuse your dog? And no one's ever going to accuse me of abusing animals.
It's 30 degrees today.
It's called Chill Guy, and it's a doggo. And this is a meme? Let me see if I can find it. Chill Guy meme? Oh. Is this it? The dark side of chill guy. Uh-oh. I've never seen this one. Huh. What's the best chill guy meme? I know I'm supposed to be a chill guy, low key, not really GA. Yeah, I mean that's that kind of Murray, except he does GAF a little bit. he's he's at the same time is very passionate. Just chilling on Christmas. Oops. That's hilarious. He kind of has a Brian from Family Guy vibe. At least like standing there with his hands in his pocket. I guess Brian doesn't have pockets. But you know, oh wells. Yeah, it's like Murray will get all like punchy a little bit. Like you know, he'll want to get up in your stuff and in your business. It is very Brian, isn't it? It's got that Brian vibe. Oh, there's Stacy licking her lips. Oh, that was a good one. Usually Murray bites my hand and then jumps all over the place. Bernie? Oh, I know. He's actually got some beef to him too. I mean, he's part dachshund, so he's got this little Chihuahua head and then this long boy body. But yeah, he's a mega cute dog. My wife was holding him like a baby last night and he fell asleep. It was pretty funny. Yeah, me too. Actually, Lexi is you can hold Lexi like that. Lexi definitely lets me hold her like a baby for quite a while. I don't know if she'd fall asleep in my arms though. I gotta go out later and chop a bunch of wood. Yeah, she is chill, man. Boy, we did a little shoot earlier today, and I was surprised she came out, and we're testing some new treats that my brother sent us, And I think that's the thing too, is going to want to start testing different types of treats. But Lexi did not like the treats, but she did like her cheese. And we did not do a very long shoot, but she was pretty chill about it, even though everywhere was frosty on the ground. But other than that, yeah, I've never seen that cat really, even when Amir, our cat beforehand, was just hated Lexi. Lexi was always very cool about it. Yeah, you didn't know Lexi's a girl? A lot of people make that mistake. How are you, El Echo? Nice to see you. I've never seen you on here before. Welcome. And Will, unless you're napping, feel free to jump in whenever you want, man. Yes, Lexi is a short-bodied, orange tabby female. Super rare variety of cat in that respect. She loves that cheese. No problem. How are you? Do you have big plan, El Echo? Do you have big plans for the holiday? And don't feel bad. People make that mistake all the time, that Lexi's a girl. In fact, like, that's why I've started introducing the episodes so people know that her name's Lexi. Huh. It's always a struggle getting these dogs rolling in the right direction in the morning. Oh, there's Murray dropping poops. Here we go. Maybe this is where I want it to be, right here. Yep. Nice. Oh, that's right. This bird. Listen to this bird.
Come on, Sophia.
Oh, Christmas tree. Right now, I use two different editing softwares. This one is I always remember the name, Shotcut. It's a freeware editing software, and I really like it for editing 4K video, 60 frames a second. It's great. And absolutely free. I'm on an Ubuntu operating system, and yeah, I don't like Mac OSs and I don't like Windows OSs, and I've been using Ubuntu and open source software for about 15 years at this point, and zero regrets. In fact, one of my favorite things to do, even though I do have a newer computer now, is I love taking old computers and putting Ubuntu on it, and then all of a sudden you now have a system that's 20% faster than it ever was. And yeah, I recommend it for anybody that wants to get into it. Ubuntu at this point is easier to install than Microsoft or a Mac OS. But I guess Mac OS has come preloaded at this point. I mean, I don't know. I haven't used a Mac since I was a database architect and designer in my 20s. So that was, 25 years ago. And even then, Macs are based on a Unix operating system. So they technically are open source. I wouldn't call it freeware, but they're definitely open source. Oh, Christmas tree. That bird.
Come on, buddy.
The bird song out here. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't really. I'm not really, making intense movies here, so I don't really feel any reason to be using any paid software. If I was, I'd probably use another open source software called Cinelera. That's more movie based. There's a bunch of freeware video editing programs out there. And yeah, what part of the world are you from, El Echo? You've been watching a lot of bird videos. That's cool, Pinky. Well, now you can consider these bird song videos. I've always been amazed out here on the farm. The bird song it's impossible to ignore. Like, I really didn't notice it much until I was out here. And lately, though, with all the holiday travel, it's almost insane. Even though I'm 25 miles from the airport, all these freaking planes. Asia, very cool. What country? I'm just talking about how me and my wife are going to be going for hot pot on Christmas Day. Awesome. And that's a great thing, because people that don't do Christmas here go to Asian restaurants on Christmas. That's what we're doing. I mean, we acknowledge Christmas as a thing where you take off and you give people presents, but as far as, all this and that, not so much around here. But yeah, we're going to go get some Szechuan hot pot and some dim sum, hopefully. And yeah, we used to go to this Chinese American place called China Cottage, and they're really good. But I want some flavor that's not just sugary at this point. I ordered some salt and pepper squid at China Cottage, and man, it was just bland. Like, I could make better Chinese food, I feel like. Yeah, mac and cheese, classic. Eleko, what country are you in? I mean, Asia's a big place.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Well, buddy.
Yeah, it's like you gotta, like, whenever I go to a Thai restaurant, they don't know me, and they don't realize that, like, I can eat a scary amount of spicy food. I've got to, like, almost threaten them to be like, bring me native Thai spicy, please. And they've also told me, like, when you go to, like, Chinese restaurants, ask for the real menu. Ask for the other menu. China, cool. Freaking I'm kind of jealous of what you guys got going on there in some of your cities. I keep seeing videos online, and it's like you're living in the future in some places, like Chongqing and Shenzhen. And then the standard places too, like Beijing, stuff like that. Granny Paula, hey, how are you? Yeah, I want to visit China someday too. Freaking cool place, man. Happy holidays, Granny. The farm is cold. And we have a new friend from China, El Echo, is on, not telling us much yet about China, but telling us they're from China. Happy holidays. Yeah, I bet you're freezing out there. Pretty late. I guess it is pretty late for you. Did were you out partying or did you just stay in? I actually imported some stuff from China, and I'm kind of buddies with my sales rep, Peter, and he's in Shaodong. And I asked him, I said, Peter, should I learn simplified Chinese or Mandarin? And he said, don't bother. Everyone's learning English. And what do you think, El Echo? Should I study simplified Chinese or Mandarin? Hey, Granny, Pinky's sitting outside because she wants to warm up. Learn simplified? Okay. Ni hao ma is all I know. Yeah, I know ni hao. I will do it. I'm working on getting my Spanish back to near fluency. Ni hao. Hey, El Echo, if I'm gonna go get a Szechuan hot pot, what do you think's the best thing to what should I be ordering? Aside from that. Oh, Pinky, she went outside to warm up because she's in Florida and it's so warm. Yeah, talk about living the good life. But she said if she was president, it would no one would have to pay their bills, and it would just be a constant siestas for everybody. It's amazing to think about that she's maybe like 6 hours south of us, and just it's warm. I always was fascinated by that. And you get off a plane after traveling somewhere, and it ends up just being this great different life. Stay in frame. Oh, really? South China? It's all warm? Dang. See, Pinky, you and Echo got a freaking maid all warm. Ooh. We do have our sun out here today, so hopefully it'll get up to like 50. I hope so, because I gotta go get some wood. Look at that cute dog. Look at that cute Bernie. $18. Let me see what I got right now. Take a look. Oh dang, it's already for here, it's already up to 38. It was about 18 this morning though when I shot the dog walks. Oh. Yeah, I'm hoping by this afternoon it'll be 50 and I can. Oh, that's right. Happy winter solstice. Shortest day of the year. The longest night of the year. The return of the light. Yes, I am looking forward to longer days. And hey, Granny, I've been taking that 5-HTP you've been talking about. Yeah, soup. Ooh, I should make a soup today. I'm gonna make a soup today. I've been taking that 5-HTP, and I think I've realized that I need to eat cream of wheat in the morning, because I've been making a big bowl of cream of wheat, and that just warms up my core temperature. Yeah, cold days. I'll wake up and I think just instinctively I want to eat to warm up. But I'm not regretting taking that 5-HTP. Uh, but I assume you don't really notice much of it the first few times you take it. But I've been taking it every day with my vitamin. Oh, hey, Al Echo, if you don't have to, am I more relaxed? I don't think I've been working on that on my own already. I don't think I'm necessarily stressed out. El Echo, that's cool, man. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for subbing and watching the videos whenever you get a chance. What just for the group, if you don't mind, what city are you in China? Ugh. I love learning about new places. That's why. That's the only reason. Yeah, I got some udon noodles. I think I'll fire up. Good night, El Echo. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. It's just I like thinking about new places. Udon is so good. I'm probably gonna do a chicken or beef. I got chicken broth, chicken bouillon. Nice veggie chili. Nanking. Oh, sweet. Nanning or Nanking, or is that just the way you spell it? Yum. Sweet potato, carrot, onion, garlic. Yum. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a soup night here. Huh. Nanning. That's cool. My cousins lived in Ho Chi Minh for 15 years. Very cool. Well, thanks for joining us, and have a great night. Very cool. Yeah, don't even get me going on Vietnamese food. Dang. Whew. Such good food. Cumin, chili powder, smoked paprika, cinnamon. Wow, Granny. Were you making mulligatawny? Pinky, you been to Vietnam? Or have you been to Nanning? Oh, okay. Cumin, chili powder, smoked paprika, cinnamon. Okay, it makes sense now. Got you. Have a good night, El Echo. We love talking to you and love chatting it up. Apparently, there's a few other people out there watching. Feel free to pipe in or say hi if you want. Yeah, peace to Nanning. Nanning. Never heard of that city. That's cool. I'm going to be watching food vlogs about Nanning now. Well, I got to throw a log on. China does look like Blade Runner. Pinky, I think you should definitely go to China. If I could, I would. I mean, you can, and you want to know what? You could always go there with like, go there like you do like salon stuff or something. Like I have a friend that just went to Korea and was never taught a day in her life, and she's teaching English now. And I think she's going to be there for 2 years. And how you doing, Steel Thought? Great to see you. But yeah, if someone, I say this to anybody that wants to travel somewhere that they've never been before, yes, you should go. You should go there sooner than later. Without a doubt. This is sleeping at my feet. My little wolf. Yeah, and Pinky, if you do go, you're going to have to vlog it. And we're going to have to watch it. Traveling is literally expanding your mind, just like eating new food or listening to new music. It's just going to build synapses and make you a smarter person. I wish I could go somewhere once a year I've never been before. Yeah, I really want to get down to South America. My only problem is I keep adopting sick dogs. And yeah, going out local is always huge. Like I guess I'm going to a new restaurant on Christmas Day and get some authentic hot pot. Oh, gotta go get Murray. He blanked out. Here he comes. I love that dog so much. He's such a goof. I can handle it hot. I was a hot chicken champion of Nashville for a number of years. Yeah, those 4K videos of people just walking around like crazy cities and stuff. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, in fact, I remember the one most recently I watched was like in somewhere in Georgetown, which I think is like a capital of like Guyana or something, and it just seemed crazy. Yeah, Japan ones are awesome. They also do like the ones like walking around like Bogota and just seeing like crazy street scenes. It's like crack for people watching. People like to go people watching. Yeah, what's that one street on Philly that they always became like big YouTube crack? Where all the trank zombies are. Kensington, yeah. That just became those videos just became like right wing fodder. Be like, oh look, Philadelphia's falling apart, and it's just like that's the only thing about those is like there are these right wingers that go around like filming like the worst tiny section of a town and being like, look, America's falling apart, and it's just like, okay, dude. It's like I'm sure Kensington. I'm not trying to discount that Kensington is a freaking Skid Row nightmare, but full of just like people with literal like diseases called addiction. Yeah, it's like you're always going to have a Skid Row. There's always going to be addiction, and until there's services in place to help people with that freaking disease, you're going to have this like YouTube fodder. You know, I worked with handicapped and disabled people and the homeless for a decade, and none of those people want to be there. None of them. And so it's just like anyone assuming that they want to be there is really just kind of just stupid and mean. Yeah, it's just, but when people are trying to like get a million views on YouTube and they go down to Kensington and start like jamming microphones in addicts' faces and being like, why are you here? What are you doing? That it's just like, you know, you're not trying to help them at all. You're just creating what do they call it? Fear porn. It's like Philadelphia is an amazing city. You could go around Philadelphia for weeks and just see some of the coolest stuff on the planet. And but as a result of like these YouTube freaking you know, influencers trying to freaking just garner attention, you'd think that Philadelphia is nothing but this street called Kensington. I mean, the Italian food just alone, you could just like literally just go and eat Italian food for a month in Philadelphia. Some of the best food I've ever had was there. Nuance is a thing. Do I like urban exploration? Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a pretty rough city, and I used to love just going and almost getting myself into too much trouble. And then when I was in my band and we were touring the country, I used to wake up early so I could just go and get lost in the city while everyone else slept till like 11 o'clock. I never could figure out why they were doing that. But yeah, I've done my time in pretty much every major city, walking around just trying to like find stuff to do, or like, yeah, I would usually end up finding some place to eat, someplace out of the ordinary. The only place that ever really weirded me out was St. Louis. St. Louis that place has some problems. Night walking, yeah, I mean, as a kid, that's all I could really do. I used to like to I would have like a buck and I would hop on the bus and I would ride the bus on an entire circuit and just watch the city and then like check out the weirdos on the bus. And then it would turn around and go right back. And so I'd end up killing an entire night. If I was just bored and alone, I would hop on the bus. And it was weird because it made me realize that absolute strangers are nicer to me than my parents. It's like the only real lesson I learned from it is like I don't need to be afraid of strangers because they're usually nice people. They're usually in the end like somewhat nice people. But I would also on the bus get in really good conversations with people too. And some of the best jokes I ever heard were on buses, like people telling jokes and just sitting around talking. And when the thing that I really got to is like I would be smiling and happy, but at the same time, like that's like the first place I would see overt racism, where I would be riding the bus and I'd be the only white person on the bus, and then just some weird white guy would come on and start throwing around the hard R at the top of his lungs. And being in that situation taught me a lot about life, and it basically taught me that um, when there's going to be some just weirdo throwing around the hard R, a lot of black people will just say nothing and just stare at him, and it just made that dude even more and more uncomfortable and more weird. And it was really powerful to see that happen. And yeah, I mean, a lot of hard lessons are taught on the bus, you know? Yeah, I hated it too, but in the end, it's like it showed me how you win. They just ignore they just stare at them and ignore them. And I'll tell you what, if that guy had touched anybody, he would have been dead in a second, but everyone's just sort of just giving him the freaking look. Yeah, it's good. Good. I think those people need to be fed their ass too. It's just what I saw happen. We're talking the early 90s, early to mid 90s. I saw it happen quite often, where it'd just be like blatant racists thinking they can freaking like literally go on a bus outnumbered 30-1 and start doing that stupid shit. I do remember one time, um, like 3 dudes getting off a bus after a guy like that, and wow, that dude shit his pants, and then the bus driver didn't give a crap, he just took off. Yeah, it can get crazy. I mean, at the same time too, it's like I feel like a lot of times the behavior I was seeing when I did see that happen could also be attached right to mental illness. So I think a lot of times people are just like, don't mess with crazy. I know that where I live now in Tennessee, I would not, if I was on a bus and I saw that crap go down, I would be more worried that someone would be pulling out a gun. Yeah, we had the Rodney King stuff, the OJ Simpson stuff. Yep. But it's just in Tennessee, you don't even need a license now for a gun. You can just go buy a gun and carry it around, and you can conceal a handgun. And literally that, like we had a big shooting at a Waffle House, and this dude ended up just attacking the guy with the gun. And yeah, it was just this crazy white kid who decided he was going to start a race war at the Waffle House. And I think the father freaking even knew the kid had mental problems and bought the gun for him. It's it's just a little too easy to get those damn guns now. So I'm not really ready for any social experiments in confined quarters anymore. I mean, we used to have the same situation at Denny's in Wisconsin, and we used to have the same situations at like Embers and Perkins in Minnesota. It's any late night 24-hour thing, you're going to have crazy happening. Yeah, I mean, everyone gets drunk and then wants to go get some food. And so you've got people that are borderline blacked out drunk who are just going to frickin' lose their shit the second they have any problems. And it can be an interesting time. I've had some of the best moments of my life in places like that. Oh, well, Pinky, you're working the night shift at Denny's. There you go. I mean, at the ones up in Minnesota, they straight up had cops. They were paying off-duty cops to just stand there and just stare at everyone while they ate. It was one of the most awkward experiences. You're just being like, you know, you just get the hairy eyeball from some freaking cop who looks like he wants to kill you while you're trying to eat your grilled cheese. Yeah, a Denny's would be a Denny's late night shift would definitely be worthy of a book. Yeah, cops love Denny's, man. Moon's over my hammy. I used to love my favorite thing. I had two favorites at Denny's in high school, and it was their nachos, which were like $4.95, and you got this huge gross plate of nachos. And then they had the grilled cheese sandwich with fries for $4.95. And they were both magnificent. I loved them. I would eat either one of those right now. Actually, friends of mine from Florida always want to eat at Denny's. It's really weird. Whenever they come up, my one friend, Rat Bastard, always wants to eat Denny's. And he'll even like drive out of the way for Denny's. He wants that moons over my hammy thing. And he has another thing he really liked. I forgot. IHOP too. IHOPs can be like that. International House of Pancakes. Oh, and bacon. You made braised oxtail yesterday? Oh my gosh. Granny. Dang. Whew. We got a Jamaican restaurant down at the farmer's market. They got oxtail every day. And man, it's like, that's some sumptuous eating. Oh, you just did in a crock pot and let it go slow and low, huh? Oh, yeah. All that carrageenan being released. Good for your skin. Wow. Oxtail. Yum. What'd you spice it with? Did you give it a Jamaican flair? I used to love my crock pot in college, and then I just sort of like I just would slow and low on the stove after that. I never really bought I had the crock pot. I ate out of it for a year and a half. And then I got a pressure cooker. Oh, throw cinnamon stick in it. Oh, my bras. Oh, dang. Yum. You ever do a little star anise in there too? A little star anise goes a long way with that cinnamon. Oh, there it is. Star anise. Heck yes. There you go. Good. I got a little allspice too I like to throw in, but then we're just talking Caribbean cooking. Yeah, five spice. I haven't used much five spice in a while. But that stuff was so good. I think that's all in. That's basically five. We're talking about five spice at this point, almost. Star anise is the magic ingredient in my dog biscuits. That's catnip for dogs. Dogs love star anise. Oh yeah, a little clove. Have you ever made a bear spice blends? It's got all of that in it. It's literally like the Silk Road spice blend. Bear Bear, Bear. It's one of the it's one of the that's it. It's one of the best, one of my favorite spice blends next to like Montreal steak seasoning. If you ever make that from scratch, look up the real recipe for Montreal steak seasoning. That's unreal. There's so many things in it, and it's not the same as the stuff you buy. You look up the original recipe. There's a bunch of stuff in it, and it's literally like 14 ingredients, and you bite into it, and you're like, oh my god. But Bear has so much in it. It's got green cardamom, clove. Gosh, I can't even offhand. It's got paprika. It's got Bear chili pepper, or no, Aleppo chili pepper. But you can use any chili pepper you want, really. And then ground nutmeg, I believe, is in it. Yep, nutmeg. I think cinnamon is even in it. It's great on chicken. Ethiopian food a lot of Ethiopian food is based off bear. So like segawat, that braised Ethiopian beef, is primarily bear, garlic, and ginger. And segawat you can also do with chicken or beef or lamb, and it's just stewed meat and like a bunch of garlic and ginger with bear. And you eat it with injera, teff injera or buckwheat injera, and then a couple hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, and that'll put you to sleep. And it's like every possible delicious thing that can happen in your mouth will happen when you eat that stuff and when you make it from scratch. I need to make some more, actually. But yeah, it's the only reason I have cardamom is to make bear. And it still blows my mind that people use cardamom for desserts, because not a fan. Not a fan of cardamom. Cardamom with sweet stuff. Yeah, star anise, it's a star. It has like a licorice flavor to it, like a slight black licorice flavor. Yeah, it's actually a pretty strong licorice flavor. Oh, Pizzelle's. Yeah. Aniseed is great. My grandma did make, she used to make these like little round white cookies that looked delicious, and they're like covered in powdered sugar, and then you bite into it and it's black licorice. And as a kid, you were expecting something else. Let's put it that way. What a good boy. Look at him. Leaps and bounds like a reindeer. That Murray, man, he melts my heart. Wow. Pinky, do you have avocado trees down there, like nearby? Can you just go like pick avocados? Wow. Wow. Yeah, man, that's so cool. You could just like make guacamole whenever you want. Well, not whenever you want, I guess, but it's just right there and it's like free. That's so cool. And starfruit, I've had starfruit before. It's really good. We planted a couple fruit trees this year in the yard. We've got a peach, plum, cherry. Yeah, no kidding. Well, it's, Granny, she's in a tropical environment, there's just a whole different lineup of stuff she can have. But, oh yeah, give us that heat. Excuse me. I had to throw another log on. Yeah, I mean, I could only imagine the stuff I'd be growing in a tropical environment. I've started to realize that if I want to be on course with my gardening, I have to start my seedlings in January indoors. And I'm bound to do it this year because I had too much fun with my garden this year. Raspberries from Mexico. That's probably because they're growing. I wouldn't be surprised if their raspberries are like, if their harvest cycle is just different from ours. I've got a couple plants, raspberry plants that start popping in early spring. Well, one thing I learned about moving from like a northern environment down to a more subtropical environment, because I think I'm technically sort of in a subtropical environment, is that a lot of stuff needs a canopy to grow, and I guarantee you need a canopy of either other plants or else an actual physical canopy. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could have, like, if you had something providing shade for your raspberries, you could probably very easily do raspberries in Florida. Plus, there's also with berries, there's also southern varieties. I know that for a fact because I'm right on the border of like the southern northern thing, and I can't use southern varieties of berries because it'll get too cold and they'll just die. But I can use northern varieties, and those are very successful for me. Right, so like blueberries, there's the southern high bush. So like the southern high bush can handle harsher climates. The northern, I have to use northern high bush though because it will freeze here, and that's pretty much the do or die with a lot of plants. Oh, and the other, well, like I built a greenhouse. Like this farm used to be a culinary herb farm, and there was a couple old greenhouse foundations. Well, there's only really one left, but I built a greenhouse on it, and lo and behold, the first thing I have to do for the greenhouse is buy a canopy because it's literally cooking the plants. And these are like tropical plants. Yeah, that's I mean, as far as growing stuff, you've got to get nerdy with it and you got to do your research. You're going to have to read up on it. But I can say without a doubt that there are Florida varieties of berry bushes. Exactly. It's where we got the phones everywhere. Usually local nurseries will have that already taken care of. But you may need to put up some sort of canopy situation too. Oy. Can't stop yawning when my feet are cold. It's also hard to film when it's cold. Wine berries. I've heard of wine berries. I actually found like I bought the plant app identifier, and I found two types of berries I've never had before on the property here. One of them is called spiceberry. So I've had two spiceberry plants, and then a giant elderberry bush, which is almost a tree at this point. And spiceberries they're interesting. You dry them out, and they kind of have like a mace nutmeg vibe to them. And it's called Appalachian nutmeg. Wine berries, though. Huh. Granny, do wine berries have like a little spiciness to them, kind of like spice berries? Or I've noticed that a lot of berries have. Yeah, I did from that. I made elderberry elderberry honey, and I also did elderberry tincture with some moonshine. They're sweet. Okay. Wine berries. I'm gonna have to try to get into that. I planted a goji berry plant up here. Yeah, it's a. I guess it's more of an extract instead of a tincture because I haven't really cooked off the alcohol. But I've definitely got some shine, some elderberry shine. I actually, when I was looking for that HTC, that 5-HTC or whatever, at Walgreens, there's all sorts of elderberry products in like the little supplement section, like elderberry gummies and elderberry extract, and it's fascinating that people freak out about that because of antioxidants, but at the same time, they don't realize that like turnip greens have more antioxidants than any berry. It's just, so people are like, I can remember my parents were all into like passion fruit extract, or because they thought it had like all these antioxidants, and I deflated them one year when I was like, or you could just eat some like greens. Or it's kind of like people that take fiber pills, and when all they really need to do is eat like a cup of corn. There's more fiber in a cup of corn than there is in a lot of those fiber pills. Yeah, well, they have greens extract too, so that's why I don't get it. It's and then there's also wine extract, red wine extract. When it's just like, just go have a glass of wine. I remember my ex mother-in-law was suckered into some MLM scam for wine extract, and I was just like, well, why don't you just have a glass of wine? And her whole excuse was, well, there's a doctor who's selling it. It's like, oh, great. Oh, Murray. Look at this guy. Oh my God. He landed on a good spot. Amazing. If you put tomatoes in a pickle jar, will they turn into pickles? Will they turn into pickled tomatoes like with the leftover juice? Yes. Yes, they will. But they'll also have the spice characteristics of the pickles. So like, there's different flavors of pickles. Like I did some pickles yesterday. I'll grab it. So it's just, honestly, the pickling extract is literally just vinegar and sugar and some salt. So this is my favorite pickling is red onion and then habanero pepper. And yeah, I guess what I'm saying is if you run out of room, or meaning like if you don't submerge them enough, you may want to just add more white vinegar or apple cider vinegar to it and a little bit of sugar, and it should work out for you. But yeah, I know people that take their old pickle juice and just throw more cucumbers right in there. And yeah, it's, keep in mind though, like if you have like sweet pickles, you're going to have like a sweeter pickle, if that makes sense, instead of like kosher pickles, which are just like they're not as sweet. There's not as much sugar in them. And And yeah, it's a lot, and a lot of times people, so like you want to have red. Are you doing this with red tomatoes or green tomatoes? Yeah, I love dill pickles too. Honestly, I like all cucumbered pickles. Yeah, V8 juice is good. It's just so sugar salty. There's so much salt in V8 when you can just do that stuff yourself. I it's well, my whole thing is so like red tomatoes are soft. I wouldn't be surprised if they broke down pickling. And I only see like a lot of green tomatoes that are pickled. Another one is tomatillos pickle up very well too. Pickled tomatillos go great. But if you wanted to, you could also ferment red tomatoes and make like kind of this tomato juice, and that's actually easier than pickling. And you basically just take 3% of the weight of the tomatoes that you're putting in the jar and add. So, like, let's say if you have 1,000 grams of tomatoes that you're putting in a jar, you would want 3% of that, which I think is 30 grams. 1%. Yeah, it's 30 grams. It would be 30 grams of salt, and then that's it. You close up the jar and then vent it every other day, meaning like you just loosen the jar and let the gas escape, and then that'll give you fermented tomato juice, which I think is delicious. I ate some last night, and I'm still got a ton of it from my garden that I made. But yeah, for pickling, I've never seen pickled red tomatoes. A lot of the ways I've seen tomatoes preserved are another way to preserve them is in oil. It's like you would see like just tomatoes with spice, like they throw some basil in there, tomato, basil, oregano, and then oil and salt, and then they would actually age in the marinated oil. But yeah, green tomatoes pickled would probably be your best way to go if you want the pickles to. I'm sorry, if you want the tomatoes to keep their shape and not break down into just a mass. Does that all make sense? Wow, the pickle talk turns off everybody. There's like 5 people in here and they all left when we started talking about pickles. Yeah, and there's recipes online for all that stuff too. I guarantee you I've never done pickled red tomatoes. I've only fermented them, but I guarantee you someone has, and there's got to be a recipe or two online. I bet cherry tomatoes. Yeah, I had a pretty good I used pickled jalapenos yesterday. I did a taco pizza last night, and I did fermented peppers on that, and then I used my tomato water, so fermented tomatoes, and I mixed that with cabbage and cumin, sliced cabbage and cumin, and just stirred it up, and it was amazing. It was an amazing little salad that went with it. Yeah, grape tomatoes are good. I had a really good year growing tomatoes. I learned a lot about it, and I'm looking forward to doing it next year too. Healthy. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I I I've I know way too much about food. Let's put it that way. How do I feel about ferments? What are the benefits do you feel? Um, I can tell you this, I have not had any form of indigestion or heartburn since getting into ferments. I've also digestively feel better. Um, Weird cravings for bad food go away. Like I stopped having. That's why, and I guess up until the cold weather really started kicking my butt, it's really easy to like put your cravings into that. Like I crave kimchi now, and I crave um you know, I crave like my wife craves pickled onions, stuff like that. Like we're not craving garbage food as much. And I feel like the constant replenishing of the gut flora just sort of helps you. And we were watching this whole thing on a whole mastered class on fermented foods, and they were talking to nutritionists, and they were saying like this is what we know about living a long life, and it's about low animal fat, high fermented food content. Kefir too, yep. Mood too. Sure, I don't like to think that I feel like environmental factors are going to really affect mood more than diet, but um do I have more self-control in my life? I don't know, man. I w- I would say that if I was eating fast food all the time and just like I remember back in the days when I ate gross fast food all the time, and just I would that like I felt like I was on a constant journey to try to just feel full. And then whenever I would eat enough of that garbage to feel full, I would feel sick. And that was the constant cycle I was under. And now I just sort of like eat and and I just eat and feel full and I don't feel sick. Like, and what I mean by sickness is like a nausea from eating too much preservatives and garbage. Yeah, kombucha is all the sugar, but I'm not going to ignore the fact that there are flavor enhancers and crap like that and preservatives that are just pumped into garbage food that are there to make us feel um, cravings for more of that garbage. And um, yeah, does it make you feel better? It's kind of like taking that 5-HTP. It's like something you just have to do more than once. You've got to do it you've got to make it part of your routine. And then I have a feeling like, as far as mood and stuff like that goes, it's like, I think if anything, you just want to try to detach stress from food. And I think that's the biggest lesson for anybody on any diet. It's like if you're not going to handle how you handle your stress, then you're always going to just fall back on certain crutches in life. And this is the cycle of addiction. And it's just like until you can master that stress somehow, nothing's going to give you that answer. So it's like I don't feel like food will answer that unless you handle your stress first. And it's just I guess it's just moderation is primary the primary battle. Yeah, emotional eating. I mean, it's like I grew up in a family that was nothing but emotional eating. Nothing but emotional eating because it was the only thing there to make us feel good. We weren't doing it for each other. And so yeah, it's like here's an interesting fact I learned. There's more nerve receptors in your stomach and in your digestive system than there is in your brain. So when people say like go with your gut feeling, it's like there really is a reality to that. And so it's like, I think that's why I always say, like, everyone has their own recipe, right? And yeah, and see, that's the thing. I was fasting quite well, and I've had myself on a nice little diet, and then it got cold, and I just wanted to eat. And I've realized, like, it's just a primal response to being cold. So it's like, maybe I do need to. So I've started eating cream of wheat. That's something I grew up eating. When it was really cold, I always wanted cream of wheat in me, and it seems to help. Because if I don't, I'll just end up eating an entire day's worth of calories before 11 o'clock, and it'll just be the most junkiest calories I can find. Pinky fasting is interesting. It's like you don't have to fast very long either. It's it's a personal journey. You can fast for 3 hours. You can fast for 4 hours. Um, like, one of my things is I was fasting. I was trying to discover just my true appetite, and because usually I was always either exercising or doing some other thing that would make me hungrier, and it's like I just wanted to know my base appetite. And so I started to realize, as I was waiting till I actually felt hunger to eat, like, there's society saying, "Oh, you're supposed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner," and it's just like my body's just like, "No, you don't." As I started to listen to it more, I realized that, like, no, I don't need to eat breakfast. And then I started to realize, like, I'm good eating around lunchtime. Um, but then some mornings, if I did do some extra work or if I went and chopped wood, I would be hungry the next morning. And you just have to, your coffee makes you not want breakfast. Interesting. See, so for me with coffee or tea, those tannins would make my stomach upset. So then I would want to eat something to get rid of, like, the ick in my stomach. Yeah, it's just I was watching this comedian's podcast, Stavi's World, Stavros. I don't know if you know who that comedian is. And he was talking to this girl, this comedian, and she was just like, I don't eat until I'm so hungry that I want to that I that I that I want to die. And she's just trying to be funny, saying, like, till she wanted to die, but she said that's when food's the most flavorful. The flavor comes from being hungry, and it's true. And it's just like, I think people, when they fall into, like, you need to eat 3 meals a day, I think they just fall into that checklist of, well, we have to go eat because we're supposed to eat. It's like, why do we do this? Because we're supposed to do this. Well, and if coffee makes you not want breakfast, then go with it, you know. But at the same time, realize that, some people just do better with a little bit of something in them in the morning. Yeah, I gave up caffeine. I can't do it anymore. I wasn't sleeping as well. And boy, it was the hardest thing I ever had to quit. And but then I realized people have been feeding me caffeine ever since I've been 5 years old. But yeah, I get, everyone's got their own recipe, and you want to know what, I can only tell you what works for me. But in the end, the whole goal is to just keep trying. Yeah, the the Latina culture forces coffee on you. It's like, well, my European culture was forcing Mountain Dew on me. And God, I'll tell you what, there's only like a few How do you milk a banana? Mountain Dew Blast. Ugh. Is banana milk just pureed banana? Ooh, Mountain Dew, man. That's some evil garbage.
Ow. Ow. Oh, interruption. No, you want to look through? You burned it. I just don't know if you want it.
Nope. Mama didn't want it that day. That was right after her dental surgery.
Oh, it's a big no.
Boba eyes. He does have boba eyes. Bananas and sunflower seeds, huh? And also has monk fruit and a percent of calcium in it. Huh. Yeah, you like their winter coats? Thanks. They got really those two have really short coats, so short hair, so I feel like I got to do that for them. Wow, banana milk. I've got a monk fruit sweetener here. Actually, that's that low carb sweetener. It's pretty good. I still remember the time someone accused me of faking those farm sounds. Yep, the donkeys. Interesting. I had a new animal friend show up. My other neighbor, his horse, who is all alone. He used to have a goat as a friend, and the goat passed away. And my neighbor started playing the radio for him for the horse more. And we actually got to meet the horse on one of the walks, and I went looking for him today, and he wasn't out. But a pretty sweet little sweetheart of a horse should show up in the next week or so. Yeah, we do keep gathering up friends. It's the horse was not too. It was like, who are you? But I mean, what can you blame a horse? It's been alone for forever. The horse kept getting out and ended up going over into the pasture we just walked out of, and it wanted to be near the other farm animals. And then I'd call my neighbor up and say, "Hey, your horse is over here," and he'd be like, "Oh, she's just lonely." And he would come out and call the horse like a dog, and that horse would go running at a full gallop back to him. It was pretty amazing. Horses are just like big old dogs. They'll just come running. Here comes Hopalong. Oh, well, R.I.P. Charlie. Bummer.
Hola, mis amigas. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, R.I.P. Charlie. That's a bummer. What's the channel called? Perfect timing for a jet to go overhead. Noah the cat is the main channel, but Charlie Four Paws has Charlie's channel. Oh wow. I'm gonna have to definitely follow them and check them out. Actually, no, Noah the cat. I feel like I was recently followed by. I won't be able to check it. I feel like there's some cat channel that followed me recently with about 20,000 followers, and I followed them back, and it was pretty awesome. Oh, where I'm at Heike. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Noah the cat followed. I'm pretty sure Noah the cat followed me, and I followed him back. I think I watched one video so far. I bet. I didn't realize there was 2 channels. I'll have to check it out. It's like me and my wife were talking about, like, well, what happens when Lexi finally passes? Even though we think Lexi's got quite got a ways to go. And I was like, well, we just go get another cute cat at the shelter that's been there for too long. Yeah, long live Lexi. I mean, she does have kidney problems, but my wife keeps saying that, you know, cats can still live on 8% of their, with like 3% of their kidney function. So I believe there's no reason why Lexi couldn't keep tooting along for a couple more years. And yeah, when that does happen, we'll go get another cat. And you know, I just want a cat that I can hold and it'll be cute. It won't freak out. And I feel like as long as that's the case, then we'll be able to have as much fun as possible. Oh, you got kidney stones? 4 years. Wow. Yeah, I mean, well, she's apparently still has most of the function of her kidneys so far. Yeah. Ugh, kidney stones. I'm so glad I haven't had to deal with that yet. Good luck, Pink. Are you in pain? I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I've always been told that Bragg's apple cider vinegar really helps with that type of stuff. Oof. Oof. ER pain. Whew. Sorry that happened. But yeah, I used to have chronic back when I was running a company and I was sleeping 4 hours a night. I had chronic heartburn, and I actually thought I had an ulcer and all sorts of stuff. And hanging out in the aisle of a health food store. I just happened to walk down this aisle, and there was a guy there who was an Olympian, an Olympic medalist, and he was wearing the medal and wearing like his Olympic outfit, and he was literally on just some side aisle of a health food store by the apple cider vinegar, and he started talking to me, and he's just like, "Do you have digestive problems?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all the time." And he's basically told me like, "This changed my life. If I didn't have this, I wouldn't have been an Olympic athlete." And he was talking about Bragg's apple cider vinegar. And well, let's put it this way. I've recommended it to people for heartburn, at least 50 different people. And you just take a shot of, if you have heartburn, take a shot of basically any real deal apple cider vinegar with the mother at the bottom, the fermentation, and take a shot of it. In 10 minutes, your heartburn's gone. And it gone. So it's people I know that thought they needed surgery and stuff like that ended up in a much better spot just from slamming some apple cider vinegar. They even do I even did when I first got into it, I did a detox diet where they say for 30 days do 2 shots of apple cider vinegar before every meal, and I did, and I lost 10 pounds without even trying. About apple cider vinegar or papaya? And honestly, it doesn't. Bragg's is just the best one I've seen so far, but I've seen other. Yeah, ACV, ACV. I will recommend that till the end of time. Till the end of time. I'm a super fan of Bragg's. That stuff is. But I've also seen organic apple cider vinegar that's unfiltered, and it's got the stuff in the bottom of it. That's what they say you need to have for it to do its work. Man, ACV on cold noodles is great. I mean, and on top of that, you could also use ACV as a salad dressing. I use actually I use this recipe called for ACV. This my pickled onions, my pickled red onions that'll turn pink. Mexican cooking, like a lot of home style Mexican cooking, uses a lot of apple cider vinegar. And I was actually looking into like, what do you need to do to make apple cider vinegar? And you need to ferment apple cider. You need to make apple cider, like the fermented cider first, and then turn it into vinegar. It's actually quite a process. But yeah, I mean, and legit, the ACV cleanse, 30-day cleanse. I lost 10 pounds, didn't even think about it. And if you can just slug it, like shoot it like a shot of liquor and not think about it, and then chase it with something, that you like to drink, you don't even think about it. these two, Stacy and Murray, boy, they are like a married couple. These guys, I can always catch these guys sleeping together. You've never had kombucha either? I mean, they are husband and wife. They're so in love. It's amazing. Like they're so bonded. Okay. Yeah. Kombucha's great. I feel like a lot of people talk crap about the kombucha in stores though, because it's pasteurized, I think. And apparently you lose all the benefits of it if it's pasteurized. That's right. Yep. Right now though, it's Stacy's really been liking the I got Mama and Murray crashing out now. Stacy's really been liking, I put a blanket on the couch. I don't know if you can see her over there, but she is just zonked. She's been tucking away. Local brewer else make it. Also, too, it's like nothing wrong with just drinking even the pasteurized kombucha. It's way better for you than soda. But I've been looking at a lot of like people making homemade kombucha, and it's just like you need to make a Scooby, and it's like this big thing that just sort of floats in the kombucha. It's a not bacterial. It's like a yeast. It's like I don't know what it actually is, to tell you the truth. And Health Aid, the blood orange carrot. Yeah, I like the green ones, the Olipop, and oh yeah, prebiotics and I'm not sure. Yeah, and that's the thing is kombucha and all that stuff is really overpriced, and when you make it yourself, it's like pennies. And you need a starter, a ferment starter, and I think they call it Scoby, SCOOBY or SKOBY. It's kind of like Scooby, but with another O. And Scoby, that's it. And yeah, once you get that going, then people, what they do is that ferments the kombucha, and then you take that with like a flavoring or a juice. Some people just take fruit, like a cup of fruit, and strain it and add it to that. And then that second fermentation is what'll make it carbonated. And it's like, I know a lot of people that just take the regular first version and just shoot that. And that's what they claim is real kombucha. But dude, whatever. Anything that keeps you from drinking garbage soda is better than anything, in my opinion. Where do you get SCOBY? I'm fairly certain. SCOBY. You might need to go to like SCOBY. I know that some people just get it locally. Like you find some like group. Yeah, Scooby Culture Live Starter makes 1/2 gallon always. that stuff should grow. I mean, Amazon has it, and a bunch of other places have it. And wow, you can even get live milk kefir grains on Amazon. But I would do some research, because you could probably find like some local like health food group where they would just probably give it to you. And I would try locally. It's kind of like a starter, you know. The only thing that threw me off there, I got quiet for a second, is because the one on Amazon says makes a half gallon, and it's just like that stuff's supposed to just keep growing. That's a thing. It's kind of like a ferment starter, and saying that it's only going to do a half gallon is almost sounds disingenuous, or like, what is this? Oh, okay. Live starter culture. Start a half gallon batch. 6 ounces of strong mature starter tea. Brew your own kombucha. Okay. Oh, okay. At Fermentaholics, our core values are integrity, quality, and culture. With these as our compass, we strive to help you navigate the world of fermentation with confidence. The rule of thumb when brewing kombucha is to use 10% starter tea per batch size. Don't get shortchanged. You'll receive 6 ounces of kombucha starter tea, the optimum amount needed to brew your first half gallon, and the knowledge to know how to keep your brewing for life. 1 pellicle, commonly referred to as SCOBY or mother, 6 ounces of mature kombucha starter tea, detailed instructions. Okay, yeah, so they're just getting you started. You should be able to like keep moving, keep using it and reusing it. And see, that depends. Is the store-bought pasteurized? And I guess I could just ask the internet. Is store-bought kombucha pasteurized? Most store-bought kombucha is unpasteurized, but some brands do pasteurize it. Here's some ways to tell if kombucha is pasteurized. Refrigeration. If the label doesn't mention the kombucha needs to be refrigerated, is likely pasteurized. If the shelf life. If the label says the kombucha has a shelf life of more than 6 months, it is likely pasteurized. Live probiotics. If the label doesn't mention live probiotics or live enzymes, it is likely pasteurized. Unpasteurized kombucha can be more expensive than pasteurized kombucha, but it may have a more complex flavor and more health benefits. And that's what I've heard. I've had friends, man, maybe it's time I just started doing that kombucha. It's probably time. But a friend of mine did it, and he said that the raw kombucha has like a light vanilla flavor to it, and it's just and it was absolutely delicious, and he didn't want to do anything to it. He didn't want to carbonate it. He didn't want to add fruit to it. He would just take a shot of it, and he thought it was a really nice flavor. And yeah, so there's the world of kombucha. It seems like for about $10 you can get that. 10 to 15 bucks you can get a SCOBY starter, and you're off to the races. Yeah, you got to read the labels on everything. Nope. Murray. He's such a happy dog when he's outside running around. Yeah, nature sounds. Some guy's driving his weed eater to work in my video. Are you outside listening to nature? I don't get what's up with people that drive those little cars and then soup them up and like their engines are constantly backfiring and sound like crap. And it literally sounds like they're driving a chainsaw. Here, I'll turn it up. Ooh, gotta shake out. Ooh, a little post shake even. No, that was literally like a Honda Accord. Heike! What's up, dude? A Harley Davidson. Ugh. It's hard for me to respect Harleys. Yeah, Murray just blanked out right there. You can tell. He's wondering where everyone went. Poor guy. Dementia's dementia. You know, it's a heartbreaker. Oh, there's your woman. How have you been, Heike? Do you celebrate Christmas? Yeah, we heard about Charlie. That's a bummer. Careful, buddy. You celebrate with food? Awesome. What kind? Are you going to do any delicious Finnish cuisine? Ugh. HVAC heating unit. Tell us about Finnish Christmas. Do you have lefse? Are you gonna eat a lot of lefse? That is Murray's emoji. Do you have lefse for Christmas? We used to eat lefse a lot. Or is that a Norwegian thing? Wow. Is it a sweet porridge? Do you have lefse there? Does Finland do lefse? Or lutefisk? Do you do lutefisk? Those were two really popular Christmas dishes up with the Nordic folks up in Minnesota when I lived there. A lot of lutefisk and a lot of lefse on Christmas. Like lutefisk was that salted cured fish that's like soaked in lye and preserved, and then lefse was that really thin flatbread, and then they would roll it with butter, and they put butter and sugar on it and then roll it up, and you'd eat that. And apparently that was considered hardcore rice porridge. Oh, yum. But no lutefisk or lefse? Am I just talking a different culture? Is that like Sweden and Norway? Because we definitely had a lot of Finns in Finnish heritage and up in Minnesota too. Lutefisk, Lutefisk, and then lefse, Lefsa, I think. How many people like ham? Everyone. Everyone loves ham. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you got it. Lutefisk and lefse. Lefse's Norwegian. I just looked it up, and then lutefisk. Lutefisk is just Scandinavian dish of dried whitefish that's been cured in lye, rehydrated, and steamed until it's gelatinous. So it could be a Finnish thing. Yeah, it is the old world way of preserving fish, but I know for a fact that they still love it. And in parts of Scandinavia, they will eat that stuff up. And I know people that eat that every year for Christmas. It's tradition. Lutefisk, I've tried it once. It's not for me, man. But I can see why people like it. It's got this intense punch to the palate. Figgy pudding. I'm looking it up. Oh yeah, I've had that. That's a traditional Christmas pud, right? I've had figgy pudding. It was good. Have you ever watched the cooking show Two Fat Ladies? It truly is a weird experience walking with Murray. I've never been with a dog like this that walks like this. It's insane. It's hilarious. It's fun. I didn't think dogs could walk like that. I'm not sure if it's because of his dementia and his back legs just aren't syncing up anymore. I feel like I've seen a lot of dogs in my day. And I mean, I assume it's just because he's really happy. Yeah, it's like a real savory, spicy figgy pudding. It's sweet too, but it's like more spice than sweet. Yeah, figgy pudding was like a Two Fat Ladies. That's one of my favorite cooking shows ever in history too. Absolute geniuses. Those two were genius, and there are episodes on YouTube of Two Fat Ladies, and I recommend everybody watch them. But I feel like I watched like Clarissa make a figgy pudding, and I've definitely had it. I've definitely had it. Yeah, two fat ladies riding around on their motorcycle with a sidecar, going on little field trips to like make food for just random British people. It truly wasn't it was a genius show. And it was funny because they did a bit of a reboot, BBC, called Two Hairy Bikers, and it was these two guys that would ride around on their Harleys, and they did some pretty ballsy stuff. And I actually ended up doing a small job for Two Hairy Bikers when they did their tour of America, and they set up home base at a house here in Nashville, and they had a kitchen island with a sink, and I had to change the sink into a gas cooktop for them so that they could face the camera because the stove was behind them. They didn't have an angle for the camera, so I ended up converting a kitchen island into a kitchen island with a sink into a wood topped kitchen island with a 5-burner gas grill. And I remember I even ran the gas line through the drain. I'm sorry you're sleepy. Well, I'm almost done here anyway. This has been a long 2.5 hour stream almost. So I get it. I'm kind of sleepy myself. I got a friend coming over who wants to talk and reconnect after the holidays. Yeah, 2 hours does go fast. It's great. It's great hanging out and talking to you guys. And you know, I'm going to try to do this every week, either Saturday or Sunday, just have a little editing session and a little chit chat. Thank you, Granny. And Pinky, get some rest and enjoy that warm weather for all of us. We need it. And love you guys and love talking to you. Have a great weekend. I'm sorry. Have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week. Peace and joy to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, Heike. And whoever else is out there who isn't talking, bye-bye.